All right, welcome everybody. This is our weekly real estate call. We're going to talk a little bit about the market, and one thing I wanted to cover tonight, courtesy of Diana, is postcards. She sent me a postcard to review. We're going to review it together and talk about how we can start to, market for possible opportunities in the market as we see real estate develop over these next few months. So before we get started, any questions as I talk a little bit about the market, what we think we're going to see with the overall market? We talked about, obviously the market was on the rise. What we anticipate. Uh, it's difficult to say exactly. Big function of that is going to be how long we're going to be unable to participate in the economy. Or how quickly it becomes full force in the economy. So we should see some negative pressure on real estate. Uh, you know, uh, Worldwide, a couple other countries reporting, that they feel that the market is going to be pulled back already. It's pulled back 10 to 15%. Uh, that was from the UK. That's what they believe. I believe it was London they were talking about. It's not crazy to think that the higher price markets like Toronto or Vancouver could see something similar to that. It's really tough to say, but there will be looks like some inventory that has been waiting to sell. Um, that's going to be coupled with the natural, progression of buying and selling that would happen. We'll probably see, some great opportunities into spring, summer, but it'll be difficult to say really how long this is gonna take. Unfortunately, it looks like the longer this takes, the more likely we'll have a higher unemployment rate in the country, which will have an effect, obviously, in the housing market. Oil is going to really damper the future of Alberta and their market uh, in the way of prices. Again, this is all opportunity if we're on the other end of that. But there will be properties that will be available. Now, are people going to need money? Are they going to need to liquidate their property in the early months? I don't think so because of the programs the government has implemented. So we might not see a distressed seller, financially distressed seller, until end of spring, early summer, and throughout the summer months. But that doesn't mean we can't start participating and start testing out the market and be ready for that to happen. So one of the things we talked about last week and the week before was liquidity, making sure that we have a lot of available cash. Good news is there's going to be a lot of available cash at very low rates. So I think it's important that we take advantage of that. Is it cutting out for anyone else? Is it cutting out the sound? No? Okay. No? No? Okay. All right. I guess that's good for everyone else, but not for you. Diana, I'm sorry about that. Um, yeah, looks like you're in there twice. Maybe it's because you have two browsers up. I don't know, Diana. So any questions before we start? And I'm going to get into that, Diana. I'm going to get into your postcard that you sent me to review. All right. So let's share my screen. Okay. So first of all, I think it's wonderful that you sent me that, Diana, and you're letting me share this with everyone, which is great. Everybody see that okay? Okay, good. So reputable quick sale home buyers need to sell your home fast. Fair cash offer for your home. Call us. We'll help. We'll tell you how we can help. And then we have our email. We have our telephone number. Okay. So first of all, I like the idea of starting to put out postcards. I think it's wonderful to potential neighborhoods you want to invest in. I would suggest a couple things. This card that you sent me, This is the front, and I'll show the back in a moment. I think you know, if you want to put this out, I think it's wonderful. Put it out. I think it's wise to try different types of messages to a market to see which one is most effective for you. But you know, I'm not against at all putting something like this out now. You know, I think that this will be more relevant in 3 months. But again, I wouldn't tell you not to send this out. I mean, you could send this out. That being said, you know, something that you could do that's similar to this. So as a second type of postcard that you might want to put out and test out is something that's more less about do you need cash, and this is why like a duress seller or a desperate seller or motivated seller is maybe something like uh, some you know sell your home fast offers. Oops, sorry. Let's try that. So instead of saying fair offers, give me one sec. Okay, so instead of saying fair offers, just say cash offers. Just say cash offers. Okay, and instead of saying need to sell your home, uh, you know, you could say sell your home fast. So we just take this out. Okay, so this doesn't need to be there. Okay, as a, I'd still send out Diana the same postcard that you sent out, the original. Like, but this is another setup you can do. Rep real quick sale home buyers. You could leave that if you wanted to. That's not a that's not a that's okay. So reputable quick sale home buyers, sell your home fast, cash offers for your home. So just dropping the beginning of those might be another format that you could use to push those postcards out. Call us and we'll tell you how we can help. So I think that the you might not need that anymore. Just call us um, because you're not necessarily saying, look, you're desperate. Let us help you. This is just, look, are you interested in buying your house? We do cash offers. The rest of it I think is good. Uh, the way it is. But again, I'm not saying uh, I'm not saying that you know you don't send out the one you had. I think it's a good idea to send out this one, but try the other one. Try a different format also. Um, any comments or any questions, Diane? Does that make sense to you? Yeah, just I think this one's fine. This one is more somebody that's in desperation, where someone who's not in desperation or in desperation would still, I think, respond to this message. Sale home buyers, or and you could just wipe that out if you wanted to, all of it, but just to sell your home fast. Sell your home fast, um, cash offers for your home, stuff like that. So anybody else? Any comments or what it is? Otherwise, I like it. I like the color. The blue is a nice color. It's a trust color for sure. So I like the picture and I like the format of it. I think so. I think it looks very nice. Now here's the back of it. Okay, so let's look at that. So Repro Quick Sale Home Buyers, we are friendly home sale specialists here to help solve your property problems. So certain circumstances require the quick sale of a property, and we're equipped to make the process as quick and painless as possible. We'll buy your home as is for a fair cash offer, so you can leave all the stress behind. So we got private sale, locations, inherited properties, house flipping, flipping, divorce, financial hardship, problem tenants. Okay, so all of this, I think, again, I would send out with the original postcard that you had. If you wanted to try a second card, like we slightly changed, I would, we are friendly home sales specialists here to help. I wouldn't put solve your real estate problems in this format. Um, so uh, here to help, and I just think this wouldn't be needed, right? Because we're not necessarily saying that they're desperate. Just think about it again, right? If you send out a card that widens the net, just says, look, I'm interested in your property, I'm a new investor in the area, you're still going to get those people that are desperate, I think, responding to your ad. But again, I'd still say to you, send out multiple different postcards just to see which one works best for your area. I really think that's a wise move. I think it's great too to start sooner than later. Certain circumstances require the quick sale of a property. So again, this is unnecessary. You know, in this second set, we don't need that. Okay, so we'll buy your house as is for I would say just cash offer. Oops. Oops. I didn't mean to do that. Let me see if I can reverse that. Let's see. So here we'll buy your home as is for a cash offer. For cash. Just get rid of that. Get rid of that. The fair, you don't have to put fair, but you could put fair. I'd try it, you know. Property sales, real, I'd leave all this. You could leave all this if you wanted to, or try it without it. I don't know if you know, but a lot of, in a great place that you learn about this kind of stuff is the internet. So many companies have different landing pages with different messages, with different fonts, trying to find out how they can get you to the next part of the sale, or part of the where they want to take you at least. So they try a lot of different things to see what works best. So I think you want to apply the same kind of method when you're marketing. You're doing your marketing, what works best. Another thing you can do is you can look at somebody, if there is somebody in your area marketing, or you can look at the most successful marketing campaigns for this type of stuff, and kind of copy it. I think obviously not copy it word for word. You have to do it differently. There's restrictions there, obviously. You don't want to plagiarize, but there's a lot of flexibility on format and what you can do. So I think that the idea of a postcard, or setting up a postcard, I think is wonderful. I think it's great that you're thinking like this now, and I think it's a great idea to start putting those out. Okay. Any questions? Okay, so Rodrigo is asking about liquidity. I will answer that, and then I'll come back to you, Diana, about anything else should add. Okay, so Rodrigo, I would say liquidity means access to capital. I just mean access to capital. So during this time, there's going to be a lot of offers for capital. And if you're a good credit risk, you have a good credit rating, it'll be relatively easy because there'll be a lot of people trying to lend money to people. So if you're able to, hopefully all of you get whatever income source was created for you that you need right now, you get back. It'll be relatively competitive for people to want to give you money. So we're going to get a lot of offers from our credit cards. We're going to get a lot of offers from our banks. There's going to be a lot of opportunity for capital. So capital is probably not going to be a problem. Hopefully it won't. And access to capital, that's something the government definitely wants to have to jumpstart the economy back to where it was. So when I say liquid, Rodrigo, I mean access to capital, whether it's cash, credit, whatever it is, a line of credit, business line of credit, whatever it is. Take every opportunity, I think, to have that capital available so you can prepare yourself for the real estate opportunities that are going to come in the future. Does that make sense? Does that answer your question? So good. All right, excellent. All right, so anything else you should add? I think I think that what you got is good. You don't need to add anything. I think simpler is better. Uh, the less uh, we say, sometimes it's just better just say, I'm an investor in the area. We're investors in the area, new investors in the area. We're looking for properties similar to yours. Please let us know if you're interested in selling your property. Um, that's not to take away with what you have. I really like what you have. I really like what you have. I think that It's a great ad. The format, the colors are really nice. I think they're really good colors. I like it a lot. It's just a matter of maybe moving some language around, and trying different formats. I think is wise. I really like it, Diana. I think it's great. I just I would try different types of language. A little bit less, maybe, try one with a little bit less, a little more, direct. Not necessarily for, people that are distressed. I think this message is going to be resonating with a lot of people in about 4 months, 4 or 5 months for sure. So I think this is a good one too. And folks, just you have a bunch of these in your car, and you're driving through a neighborhood, and you just pop them in the mailbox. You could mail them, you could direct mail if you want, but really you could you know just have these available, and pop them in the mailbox, and leave your contact information and wait. I think it's never a bad idea to uh, to start marketing for your next prop or your next opportunity. We're one property away from where we want to be, just one property. So um, I think it's great that you're thinking like this, and you're taking some action. Anybody else using any sort of postcard or marketing? I think it's wonderful. I think it's a good idea. Any questions about this? Anybody? A couple of people typing. We're just gonna give a minute, 2 seconds here. What are your thoughts on running ads to find Facebook ads to find sellers? You could do that. You could do that. I don't think that's wrong either. To market on Facebook or Kijiji or Craigslist, whatever you like. I think it's relatively easy to do. There's lots of ads now. It's getting crowded. So your ad being noticed, but it's really painless to do. So I think it's not a bad idea at all. Should we hold off for maybe a few months to buy? I think that again, that's going to be a function of the market. Just I think that's going to be the market will tell us. I mean, it's running the numbers, right? I'm really concerned about this. Nobody has to pay rent for 3 months, or 4 months, or however long they're going to decide to do that. I think that's going to create some serious problems for real estate. Serious problem for income properties. I think commercial is really going to be strained too. I think that's going to be a problem too. This change in behavior that's being forced upon us by working from home, I think some companies are going to look at that as an opportunity to maybe reduce, the amount of commercial space they have. If it's effective and people are getting it done at home, why pay for office space? So I think there's going to be some serious challenges ahead for commercial property, for rental property in the short term at least, and it's going to create some real changes and movement in the market. So it'll be interesting to see what happens. You definitely want to be prepared to jump in there. So I don't want to say that to wait necessarily. Just if you think you have an opportunity, I'm more than happy to share it. Share with me to help you out. Tell you what I see. It's really a numbers game. Is it creating problems for? Is it creating problems for me right now? And can't be so insensitive about getting rent. Yeah, I mean, so just you have rental property and you're not collecting rent. Is that what you're saying? Yeah, I totally get it. Now, I think that what you want to do, Jess, is you want to stay on top of, and I'll share with anything that I come up with or see, where you're going to be able to access some sort of monies from the government for not taking that rent. I really don't think it's a good idea to start telling people they're going to be evicted during this time. I think that's not a good idea at all. I don't agree with it. But obviously, it's going to create financial hardship for those of you renting property. So I think that you need to talk to your banks, and the government's going to do something, I'm sure about that. So definitely going to be some help, I think, coming in the future more than there is now for that situation. But I really am glad to hear, Jess. I know it's creating a problem, but you don't want to evict anybody or tell anybody. I think that's what you got to do. Do you know of any equivalent software to Pop ProStream in Canada? Do I know any equivalent software to ProStream in Canada? I don't know what ProStream is actually. What's ProStream? Oh, ProStream is the best software to find foreclosures in the U.S. Um, I don't. I mean, you can buy lists and stuff in Canada. It's not Information Freedom of Information Act. I mean, there's privacy acts in Canada that prohibit some kind of that kind of information. There's a lot of states in the U.S. that information is more accessible, but there are places. I don't know. Does anybody use something for foreclosures? Anybody use a source or a list they buy? I'm sure you could. I mean, you probably Google foreclosure lists. There's probably going to be foreclosures too and short sales, U.S. short sales, but in Canada there's going to be foreclosures. I really think Alberta is going to spike, unfortunately, in foreclosures again with this oil situation. If this is not resolved and the longer it waits, I mean, it's going to be a serious challenge for Canada, not unlike other countries, U.S. too. I mean, there's going to be a serious problem. This oil situation is extremely serious for both countries, and there's going to be some massive impacts um, to not only to those jobs, but you got to remember the government taxes gas, heavily taxes gas, and if the gas price is lower, they're bringing in less revenue. So there's some serious implications with this gas problem. It's great for the individual because they'll have more discretionary money because they're spending less on gas. But ultimately, the gas prices are, I mean, again, gas could go to $15. I don't see a reason why it wouldn't even go to 15 or even $10 because there's just massive. OPEC just finished their last agreement. Every country's allowed to produce as much oil as they want. So in the U.S., I wouldn't doubt if in the U.S. you could buy a barrel of oil right now for $5-10. You could definitely buy it in Canada for $5. So, for a pint of beer, uh, and the joke was made on CNBC by one of the commentators, but he was serious. You could buy a barrel of oil for less than a pint of beer. That to me is unthinkable and unbelievable. That we're here. So you put that on top of the current situation with coronavirus, um, it's going to create some serious long-term changes if that's not resolved. And I don't really see it getting resolved. I don't know why Saudi Arabia, which is really the in control of the situation, Russia too, but not so much. Um, why they would even agree to let the price go up? They can take over the oil market with this situation. So I don't know what their motivation is. But again, I mean I'm not inside their heads either. So I don't know if oil's going to come back to $50 and $60, which it was at one point in the last 12 months. So it's going to be a tough future for that. And places like Alberta, like Texas, the state of Texas, Oklahoma, there's lots of places that are shale and oil. It's a big deal. It's a big deal. This is a serious problem. So there's going to be massive opportunities. This is again going back to liquidity. Just get yourself equipped to access capital and cash. They're going to be giving cars away. They're going to be giving properties away. They're going to be giving, businesses are going to be, there's going to be huge opportunity, if you're liquid. So be liquid. Make sure you're liquid as much as you can be. Partner up with people. Talk about getting into opportunities. Something that I'm personally doing is is with my brother right now as we're talking about, keeping our eyes open for businesses and opportunities, real estate, even the market. Uh, when the opportunity comes, we want to jump on it. I just wanted to know, landlords cannot evict right now, but can we still issue? So this is N4. So I think that's a great question. I think that you can issue, the N4, and I don't remember them saying you can't issue it. I think you want to keep track of it, but you want to let your tenants know you're not evicting them. I don't think you want to. I don't think you want to, let them know because it says, that they owe the money and you proceed with eviction, right? So I think the N4 is a good idea. Just a notice that says, Nick, it's just a notice that says you're behind on your rent. You owe me this money, and if you don't, you can go to the Landlord Tenant Act, the provincial or wherever you're from, and you can print it out right off the website. So it's an N4 form just stating that you're behind on your rent, which you should submit literally, the day that the rent's missed, they're not there. The next day they should have an N4 form submitted. So in whatever the representation of an N4 in Ontario, we use that. Whatever representation of that form, you should be submitting, I think, right away. So I think that's a good question. I don't think there's anything wrong with it, but I would let them know that you're not evicting them. That you're just, you're proceeding through it. That's one of the concerns. That's one of the things. The concerns is, well, what happens after 3 months? Are we going to have, are we going to extend that another 3 months? I mean, if this goes longer, what are you going to do? So I don't know what's going to happen, but I think it's wise to do business as usual for now. Just let your tenants know that your intention is not to evict them. That's not. You're just making sure that paperwork's. You're doing what you're supposed to do. What is an N4 form? So Rodrigo, yeah, we're just saying that the N4 form is the form that you submit, that you give to your tenant when they're late on rent. So if they're late on rent, there's a form that you can print out from the Landlord Tenant Act website, right? You can look up N4, and there is a form you can print out, and it just says on the form that they owe you money. This is how much they owe. This is the date they owe it for, like a period, and they have 14 days to pay. If they don't pay within that period, whatever period in the provinces that you're in, that you're going to proceed with eviction. Okay, we got about 2 minutes. Any other questions? So what you're saying is that what the government is doing, postponing rents, not canceling. I think they're gonna have to cancel the rent. I think mortgages can be changed, right? Mortgages you can tack on at the end of the year, but the rents, I think the rents are gonna be canceled. They're just telling people not to evict anybody, right? No foreclosures, no evictions. But I don't think that money's ever coming back, to tell you the truth. I don't know how they're going to work that out. But I don't think that money's coming. I don't know how you can ask somebody to make up that money. So we will see what will happen. What type of business are you thinking in investing in? Diana, anything that makes money. Seriously, anything that makes money. I don't care. I don't care. I'm not going to get into some of the stuff that I'm doing, but I'm very open, Diana, to anything. I mean, there's so much opportunity out there. It's unbelievable. So yeah, anything that makes money, Diana, to me should be reviewed. So if you cancel 3 months rent, how are you paying 3 months of mortgage at the long run? So yeah, that's it, Rodrigo. I don't know how they're going to sort that out. Some places are asking the banks to forgive the mortgages. I don't know how. I don't know what's going to happen. Like, I don't know what legislation is going to be in place. In New York and California, they were doing a rent strike, I think, today, actually, for people who can't pay the rent because they want legally. Legally, you got to pay your rent. So if you don't pay your rent, at some point, you can be asked for that rent. So they want that rent forgiven. So it'll be interesting to see how that plays out in Canada and the U.S. Online business, internet business. Are you asking me about businesses? Is that what you mean? Again, I mean it. I'm literally open to anything that's profitable and legal. Anything that's profitable and legal, I don't care what it is. Obviously, as long as it's not violating my moral code, but I mean, there's so much unbelievable opportunities. For the market, there's going to be so much opportunity. It's unbelievable what's going to be available. Yeah, I mean, like I don't know if any of you heard about car deals that they're offering right now, but there's going to be massive opportunities where they're going to be saying 0% for 7 years. Like they're going to give you the car with no interest at all. So you're going to make payments on a car and pay zero interest on it. On a car payment. That to me is pretty amazing. So these are going to be opportunities that are available to most, if not everybody. But you definitely want to be positioned for it. I think is the best thing. So paying cash for things, and debt is going to be something that's extremely important in the coming months and years for sure. It's going to be everywhere. The availability is going to be there. The cost is going to be extremely low, and it's important that the government, U.S. and Canadian governments, will support the availability of that kind of capital. That's what they're doing. That's what they're concerned about. So they're trying to increase the liquidity and available capital for everyone and everything. Tenants repaying, applying for IE. If we give them terms, of payment, do you think they will pay? I think that for the most part, I would say probably no. If the government's saying they don't have to pay rent for 3 months or 2 months or 6 months, whatever, I think that they're going to not pay, whether they are applying for that or not. I think the government knows that. I think the government's going to have to come up with a program to pay landlords. I think that's going to happen too. I think that's going to happen. So sit tight as much as you can. Obviously, I would talk to your bank about the mortgage. Like I would say, look, I'm not getting any income from my properties. I need my mortgage. I need my mortgage changed. I need the mortgage changed. That's what I would do for sure. Okay, we're at the end of the meeting. Any other questions before we wrap up? Okay, as an assignment next week, I think it would be cool if everybody came up with their own postcard. Just this week, work on postcards or marketing, whether it's postcards or internet ads. And then if someone could send me, a couple of you could send me some internet ads or postcards, and we can review it on the call. I think that's a wonderful subject. Diana, thank you very much for letting me share that with the group. I think that's great. And please let us know the results of that. Okay, thank you very much for that. Do you know anything about momentum training coming up? I don't. I'll see if I can find out what's going on. I think everything's been put on hold. But let me see what's going on. Live events have been put on hold in Canada and the U.S. for the next, I think, month and a half. It's been a couple weeks already. But I'll definitely look into that. Yeah, I know it's the online. I'll see what I can find out. Let me know if you guys need help with digital marketing. Oh, nice. Cool beans. Does anybody need help? Anybody want an email? Do you want to post your email for everybody? Give me 1 second before you do that. Stop just before you do that. Okay, hold on. Okay, I'm gonna stop the recording. Want to thank everybody for coming out this week. I'll see you all next Wednesday, and please do some marketing or ideas of marketing. That's going to be